Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. It's gonna be a rough one, but hi everybody.
It,
Welcome.
it's a TNA review. Of course, it's going to be a rough one.
Papa also like been talking about it for the last couple weeks, but we're in the we are in the dark period for TNA throughout the course of the year. Once again, we find ourselves in this really rough patch heading toward end of the year. But welcome to Six Sided Scholars, your TNA pay-per-view PLE review show here at BC WrestlePod. Of course, I am El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, Mikey, joined with me this evening, of course, is my TNA crew, who I want to give a big apology to. No. So here's the thing. So I'm joined by JT, Papa also Will, and Radio Free Will. So the four of us are going to be breaking down Emergence as it occurred last Friday. But I would like to put a blanket statement out. So Papa also and I already knew what we're going to kind of get in. JT and Radio Will, I apologize.
I more power to you. You are the experts. I defer to you.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it all, y'all. This is gonna be a rough one. This was outside of being plagued with technical problems in itself, the show was like very okay at best. I had some matches I actually really enjoyed, but for the most part, it felt like a how do I put this? It's like it continues. But oh my goodness, we're gonna get into all of the Emergence action question mark as we go through this review, fascism. Anywho, so we do our report cards. There's some also fun stuff like we preview all the weekly television shows. This weekend is jam packed. There is like 7 different promotions doing lots of things. And yeah, so stay tuned for those announcements at the end because Andrew and I have a busy weekend. But anyways, we also have some merchandise available for you if that is what you prefer too. I do have a tank top behind me. I forgot to put it on because even then in a tank top, I feel hot. But I'm wearing a black shirt, so who am I to say? But we have review merch of all of our review teams here at BC WrestlePod. Our Hot Boy Summer collection is coming to an end at the end of this month to make room for our pumpkin spice latte themed merch. We're kidding, but also maybe not.
Wait. Can you do merch that's specifically pumpkin spice lattes? So it's a latte with like the Chicago flag on it with the lightning bolt X's on it.
If we going down the back.
Oh my goodness. I mean, if we can avoid getting copyrighted, sure. We also have our anti-fascism collection where those two collections, we have part of the proceeds be donated to charity for our Pride collection goes to Point of Pride. And the anti-fascism collection, part of the proceeds will be donated to the California Youth Immigration Justice Fund. Because yeah, children, immigration, and things going on in this country, no bueno. So we got to help out in any way we can. But with that out of the way, I've talked for long enough. I wish I could talk longer, but let's rip this Band-Aid off. Let's get into Emergence. So, Emergence took place well, I want to say live, but I watched the replay because I was like, yeah, I'll just watch the replay this weekend. Emergence came to us live-ish. And so we had 2 countdown/pre-show matches. We're not going to talk too much about it, but I do want to mention them because they were on the show. Of course, we had our first countdown match, which was Indy Hartwell and Rosemary, which had literally a day's worth of builds. Like, not even. We literally talked about it last week on the Go Home episode. This match was made from a feud that was like on the show itself, the Go Home show. And I'm like, I hate the story going into this. The match itself, at least the parts of it that I was able to watch, was fine. TNA, you got to get your technical stuff together. Like, it really takes me out trying to get through Emergence. I thought for the things that I saw, I thought it was fine. Indy Hartwell does pick up a victory over Rosemary, and I was like, and we're probably never going to see this feud develop any further, which makes me very sad because what are we doing with Rosemary? And Indy should at least be in a consistent feud. But more on that later, because who knows? We might get a feud now that a certain somebody turned heel last night. But I digress. Radio, I'm gonna come to you because you you got the head start of all of us because you were watching some of it before we got onto review last week. At least for the parts that you could see, what did you think of Rosemary and Indy?
I was actually not able to. I didn't catch this one last week. I actually just watched this one tonight because it's on YouTube right now. Unfortunately, it was a PLE. It's like it's once again. I made the joke last week about doing your homework on the bus, and that's what this was. It's the result of doing your homework on the bus. It passed, but barely.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me personally, there's nothing else to add to this. It was a match that was made for the countdown show the day before on the go home show. Yes, we know that these episodes are taped, but even still, I'm just like, all right, fine.
And the fact that this was done for the pre-show, the countdown show, part of me I feel bad for Rosemary on that. I feel worse for Indy. Like, here she is, she's getting hyped up. She's getting like, hey guys, we got Indy Hartwell and TNA. They throw her into a feud with Tessa Blanchard, who, despite their best ideas, is one of their top heels at the moment. Is of the women's division. And yeah, here we put her in a feud with Tessa Blanchard and have her beat Tessa Blanchard. Yeah, way to go, Indy. All right, what's next on your storyline? The pre-show. In a match that we kind of forgot to book you in until the night before. You know, there's no there's no other promotions you want to go to or anything, right? You don't want to go to. It's like, I mean, like you're building her up to be the flash to be a flash in the pan, and
It's not helping nobody.
exactly. Hell, she had CVV interviews leading up into this, and they were positioning her to be like the femme Joe Hendry, and now she's on the pre-show. Good job, TNA.
You know what? You pointed that out, and unfortunately, a light bulb went off. I was like, oh my God, you're right. She went from the main card of Slammiversary to the pre-show of Emergence. I was like, damn, that was crazy. JT, I want to come to you next if you have any additional thoughts.
I feel horrible because I watched the entire episode. Now, keep in mind, I had to kind of fast forward through it after I
Hey,
get
you
off
know
work.
what? You're better for it. But anyways,
I
continue.
don't remember seeing this fight.
To be fair, it didn't go on that long either.
I don't remember this at all. And from what it sounds like, I really didn't miss much, so I'm not horribly worried that I missed it.
I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, oh, it frustrates me. Well, for the TNA talent in general, but your knockouts division, I was like, look, I'm always gonna ride or die for the women's division. That is where my bread and butter is as a wrestling fan, because you know what, women's wrestling is freaking fantastic. But we need to do better, especially when you have a veteran like Rosemary in here. I was like, listen, I'm not expecting her to go out here and win championships and have a championship reign, though that would
Right.
be awesome. But like, this is a disservice to both of these women, and it makes me so mad. Papa,
I'm tell-
also, any additional thoughts on this one?
No, the whole PLE truly and honestly belongs in the trash.
Oh God,
I'm-
this
I'm-
is rough.
I'm telling you, TNA, sign Abaddon and get a Spooky Bitches tag team.
Yeah,
They should have
oh,
they should have literally just kept this one in the can.
Yeah.
And just
I'll
said
be like-
say it never happened.
Well, unfortunately, it is on the platform, and we watched it. So, like Maxine Waters, this is time I'm never gonna get back. So I cannot reclaim my time.
Because of it is that
Yeah.
this match set up a whole disappointment, unfortunately.
Which sucks because, again, there were certain matches to save this whole pay-per-view. TNA heard me talking crap, so they're trying to tag my internet. Let's keep this going. So
They
Indy
already
Hartwell
signed
does-
with TKO, and they're hacking your system.
Oh, that's very true. Be like, I don't give you permit. Anyways, so Indy Hartwell picks up the victory over Rosemary. So now we move on to our second countdown match, which we have the hometown man taking on Ryan Nemeth. So for those of you who do not know, Nick Nemeth was quote unquote suspended for a little bit, which means AKA he's out here popping up in other shows. Like I literally just saw him at Juggalo Championship Wrestling and GCW's The 2-Day War. So that was wild to watch at the gathering. That was a whole experience, which was kind of fun. I'm biased. As stupid as the hometown man character is, it's one of my favorite bits that TNA is doing right now, which is, again, very sad to say. But I'm very happy that Hometown Man beat Ryan Nemeth. Again, this was great for a Thursday episode, but this is the countdown to a pay-per-view. And maybe my expectations for pre-shows for any promotion are too damn high. But I'm like, you're not making me want to watch the rest of the show by giving me these pre-show matches. I'm going to be so for real. This was fun, but this was not a reason for me to continue watching the main card of Emergence. So
I have X-Pac heat with Ryan Nemeth. Like, it's go away heat. It's not like, wow, he's good at being a bad guy. No, especially the promo that he cut here. It's just like, dude, this is amateur hour. Like, you suck at this. Like, somebody get this man a manager, or at the very least, don't let him back into the ring without Dolph. Okay? Like, and I know his name is Nick. I spaced on his name I'm so annoyed by him. I forgot his new TNA name.
it's
Like, he's just, like, I'm getting annoyed looking at his face on the screen right now.
yeah. I mean, granted, now Ryan Nemeth is supposed to be annoying, but he's bad and annoying.
And I like a good heel. Like, some of my favorite wrestlers in the industry right now are heels, and I appreciate their work as being heels. MJF, AJ Francis. Like, I like the work that these guys do as heels. There is an art to being a good heel. Ryan Nemeth is not a fucking artist. It's
Yeah. So, oof. Anyways, JT, any additional thoughts?
I feel horrible again because
You
I
didn't
don't.
see this one either.
I know that I watched the Emergence episodes, and I don't remember this one either because I
I'm a-
love the Hometown Man.
yeah.
Like, I literally every time I don't watch I don't watch the technicality, like, the technical moves and stuff are always really cool, but I watch it just because, like, to see what he's going to come out as in that current state, and I didn't see it, and I'm really bummed because I wanted to see what his look would have been or something along those lines.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Papa, also, we know you love Ryan Nemeth. Just kidding. I'm sorry.
I like Hometown Man.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the gimmicky sort of characters. Some of them are kind of fun. This one's fun. I'm not a fan of Ryan Nemeth at all, and I think I don't know, his whole shtick. It gets old very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of him goes a long way, and so I'm just like, so now I'm kind of like, every time he's on screen, now I'm just sort of like, oh god, like I literally lose interest, and I didn't want to lose interest on this one because I was really excited for Hometown Man. And I mean, the best part about it is Hometown Man won the match,
Yes.
which was great. So anytime Ryan gets defeated is a good day. So, but I mean, again, this
This was a Thursday episode of TNA instead of a pay-per-view. In fact, that's the running theme for me personally when we get into the main card. I'm like, we could have had this on Thursday instead and we would have been okay. The equivalent to this could have been an email type of match. Be so for real.
This whole thing, like, honestly, if this had been an episode of Impact, we could like all four of us would be like, you know what, turning it around. I think they're working on something here. No, this was a pay-per-view.
This was crazy. And again, so I'll touch upon it at the end of the review because I did watch Thursday's episode last night as well. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, we could have taken the matches that we had on the Thursday episode they taped and put it on the pay-per-view, and I would have actually really enjoyed it a lot more. Like, we'll get to it because I was like, we had a whole 30-minute women's match, and you mean to tell me we couldn't put it on this pay-per-view? But anyways, I digress. So yeah, Hometown Man wins, beats Ryan Nemeth. Again, those two, I love the talent that's involved, but those two matches did not make me want to watch Emergence. But because I'm obligated, because we reviewed this thing, I had to press forward. So I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with this picture right here, right? This was one of the matches I really enjoyed. Big fan of Leon Slater. Love me some
Sure.
Cedric Alexander.
Sure.
Here's my biggest issue with this match. And I'm not even going to give TNA a pass with this one. Why did you let this one open the main card? That's what made me mad. I was just like, great. Now I have to get through the rest of the slog to get to everything else. What? I'm so mad at TNA for putting these boys on first. Now, granted, Leon is flying anywhere and everywhere over the last couple of weeks, but damn, y'all couldn't have put him in the middle of the show at least? I was like, how dare you? That's my biggest gripe. The match itself, solid. Loved it. Love these two boys. Was it like a 5-star classic? No, but did I get exactly what I wanted and did it feel like a pay-per-view? Yeah, for the most part it did. These two are great. I just really wish this did not open the show because then everything else was just, well, let me just strap in because it's not going to get any better.
So this match is emblematic of a recurring issue in the whole show. And we've already seen it with Indy and Rosemary. We're going to see it later with and Matt Cardona. There is no heat for any of the matches in this card. Like the only match off the top of my head, and I may stand corrected here as we get through it a little bit because I'm sure I'm forgetting something. But like the only match that I can think of that had any heat going into it was Moose versus Trick. That's the only reason there's any heat. It's the only time on this card that they really capitalized on the NXT invasion.
I mean,
that
technically you're right. No, you are right. Trick and Moose was the only thing that had any type of heat and build toward it. Across two shows, might I add, because Papa also, me and you also cover NXT, and that was going on the last 2 weeks when Moose was over there in NXT, and then of course we got the Can They Coexist multi-person tag team match like 2 weeks ago. So it's so frustrating, and it makes me mad because again, Cedric and Leon deserve better.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant, I know it's the X division is equal to the cruiserweight, but like we saw how good Moose and Leon was, and that was towards the later half of the card. Like you couldn't have put them towards the middle or like, I don't know, like the third to last match of the card. I don't know anymore. But
the other thing there is, like you said, the X division is sort of equivalent to the cruiserweight championship. Yeah, so this isn't WWE. We don't have to sit here going like and pretend cruiserweight wrestling is a bad word. No, like you should be building this. Like this should be higher up in the card.
That's what I'm saying, because this should not have opened the show. Anyways, if I keep going, we're going to be here forever. I got to get other people talking.
Sorry.
It's okay. No.
I had a Celsius before we went live, so I'm going to be jumping the gun all night. So
JT, you're laughing because, like me and you talk on and off. This is like, we're passionate about a lot of things. And it's like, ooh, this gets me heated when people, wrestling. Yeah. I love you. But damn, anyways. JT, we know that this was a match you actually saw. So what did you think?
I did. I agree with you 100% that I'm a little angry at the fact that they put it towards the start of this entire pay-per-view, because everything after it was slightly lackluster. Like, yes, they were fun matches to watch, but like this was an awesome one to see. And they did this with a couple of other matches where they did that kind of good sportsman-like conduct afterwards, and like congratulated and like, showed people, hey, we all kick ass. This is a group effort. Like, it was really cool to watch. But I'm just like, why couldn't you have put it later in the episode? Like, this would have been a great buildup. Not like, hey, shoot the wad all the way, at the start of the show. We'll just work with it from there. Yeah, so.
It's all right. You'll beat the traffic.
There you go.
We love it. Anyways, Papo Oso, your thoughts on this opening the show? And the
matches were good. I think they put it here because they knew the rest of the show was shit.
Damn.
So they're like, well, maybe if we put this here, people will be like, oh my God, this is going to be a great episode.
Spoiler alert, it was not continued.
Nope. So I get why they put it there, because I'm pretty sure they knew that this was not going to be good. But of course, I think TNA knows that Emergence is never going to be good.
Can we just like get rid of Emergence, you guys?
Like, seriously.
Let's take a break between Sam.
Hey, TNA. You could give wrestlers an off season. Give the entire roster a couple of months to rest and relax and recuperate a little bit, and then just start it fresh with Bound for Glory. Okay? Be like reasonable programmers, unlike the company that you're trying to fillet so hard right now.
Here's the thing, too. Like, we don't even need Emergence. I'm going to be so for real. And again, this is just a me and Papa also thing, just because we've been covering this for longer. Like, we could take Emergence out. And if you want your morale in that TNA locker room to be fun, bring back. I mean, I think it was probably more of a Scott D'Amore thing that they did it, but bring back the hokey, like, cheesy comedy episode of the wrestling that we got, where they all dressed up and were playing stereotypes from like the 80s or whatever. It was ridiculous, but it was so much fun. I have never laughed my ass off so much in the best way possible. Or how about this? Because it worked. What was it? Last year or the year before that, Papa Oso? We don't even need Emergence. Bring back Knockouts Knockdown, the pay-per-view where you showcased women's wrestling. Like, we literally had that last year or the year before that, and it ended up being one of my favorite shows because it was nothing but the TNA Knockouts showing up and showing out. And then you also got, women from the independent scene coming in and doing all that. I don't think they would be able to do that now because of, the overlord that is TKO, but I digress. All to say is Leon Slater retained his championship as we figured he would.
And we joke a lot about them like being owned by TKO. To the best of my understanding, they are not officially yet.
Not yet.
By TKO. And I feel like there's that yet is italicized. So but like in all fairness, they are not actually owned by TKO yet. They're trying. They want that sweet television deal, but it's not a done deal yet.
No. So again, this was one of the highlights for me of this whole episode, and it made me mad because again, I was like, well, this started the show. Let's just strap in, and I'm a masochist, so let's just move on for the rest of this. So after this one, love these two individual.
Yeah.
This is a Thursday episode. This is not a pay-per-view match. Like, again, the same thing. We literally got this match made on the go-home show.
Zero heat. Like, any other time, if there had been the proper build-up to these two fighting, I'd have been like, fuck yeah. Like, Matt Cardona's great. Mustafa Ali is great. Why are they fighting?
Honestly, that is a question that could be applied to a bunch of these matches. Why are they fighting again? Like, why? Sure.
Mhm.
So next up, of course, we have Mustafa Ali versus, Matt Cardona. Again, really like these two. In ring was very solid. Again, this was a fine enough match, but not for the pay-per-view.
Although it was really interesting, I never realized
Oh, except for the end. The ending made me
how
mad, but I
much
digress.
of a brick house Matt Cardona is compared to Mustafa Ali.
Damn.
Like, you watched him, like, as he was kind of approaching Ali, and I was just like, "Damn, that dude could, like, eat him for breakfast." Good lord. That was about the only highlight to the entire thing.
So it was a one-sided Big E affair, I guess.
Oh.
It's only one big meaty man slapping me.
Hey, well, so maybe you can help me out here. So we've been like, what do we do? Like, let's take Matt Cardona out of the situation, the equation for right now, right? What are we doing with Ali? Like, what has happened? Like, since he's been here over the last year and a half, like where he started, and then he was X Division champion, had a fun run with that, lost it to down the line, which was fair. Then he's signed full time here, and this is what we're giving him. I was just like, what are we doing? Anyways, I don't know anymore.
I think they're trying to make him a villain, like a super villain.
I can see that.
I mean, honestly, I think that's what they're doing. And they're making him sort of like,
So-
mastermind behind all of the, because he's in this current incarnation, we could label him as the evil doer. And because he has his henchmen that do anything and everything. He has the lovely and gorgeous, sort of lady friend, as all good villains have. And I think that's what they're doing. I think they're
He
just trying to
even-
make him this, like, he's got a secret lair somewhere and,
He's
strokes
even
a
got
cat.
he's even got the outlandish costume to go with
Yeah.
it.
So now there is an interesting wrinkle with the character of Mustafa Ali and Order 4 in the sort of overarching narrative, speculation, whatever you want to call it, of them trying to angle to be assimilated into TKO. Yes, you can read Mustafa Ali's character as supervillain. However, you can also read it as presidential.
I mean, isn't that what he started when he kind of got to all of this? He started kind of like
Yeah.
borderline presidential looking when he came out.
And then the crisis in America happened.
And here's the
And
weird
as long as he keeps leaning into that presidential persona, you literally had a video package highlighting how proud Triple H was to visit the White House.
Ew, don't remind me, but you're right.
They're not going to let the villain of their product be the president.
You know what? So I want to point this out too. So we're just going to confine this to 2025, right? With Ali's character, right? So we're at the end of August, all that good stuff. So looking at the beginning of this year, going through Genesis and, leading into Rebellion, we still had that presidential character. And literally the feud between, this is how mad I am for Ali. The feud from January to the end of April between Ali and Mike Santana is probably one of my favorite short-term feuds that we have had in wrestling so far in 2025. Because again, it leaned more into the presidential character, but it also tackled and brought in, trigger warning here. But I feel like a conversation was had between all parties involved that Ali was attacking Mike Santana's character, that he wasn't a good fit to be the TNA World Champion. And then he brought up, Mike Santana's past of being, like an addict and, his sobriety and all that good stuff, which, shout out to Mike Santana, 2 years, got his token not too long ago. So we love that. And honestly, it was a little uncomfortable, but it didn't take a step too far into the, oh God, we can't do this right now territory, but it worked. Since Rebellion, because it culminated in a Falls Count Anywhere street fight type of match where both Mike and Ali did crazy stuff, we had the Great Hands handcuffed and beaten up. Tasha Steelz got thrown through a table from Mike from in the ring to out of the ring. Shout out to her because that was a crazy bump. We had blood and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm interested to see where the next chapter for Ali goes. Since Rebellion, man, it's just gone not too fun for me for Ali. I was like, I don't even know what we're doing, y'all. Like, he was so disheveled and dejected after that match for a little bit. I was like, ooh, okay, this is a turn. And then we enter the supervillain arc. I was like, this is not my favorite chapter for Ali right now, you guys. I'm just going to admit that. So I don't know when or where, but the shift happened post Rebellion, and it's not working out for me. I really don't like this direction for Ollie. That's
So
just me.
apparently in August of last year is when he dropped the presidential character.
Damn.
And then he started building
Began again.
this persona, which led him into the Mike Santana thing, and then now where we are now. But
Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah, thanks for the timelines. But all to say is, I want more for both of these men because this match was fine for a Thursday episode, but not for a pay per view.
Yeah.
So Cardona ends up winning the match. And I was just like, okay, fine. But yeah, I will say this, spoiler alert, the feud between these two is not over. In
Good.
fact, it got a whole lot bigger though, and I'll get into that at the end. So first and foremost though, some bright spots, shouting out our friend to the channel, Nick, shouting at us out with the great stuff as usual. Bro, it's late for you, but it is a Friday. That is very true. We'll talk soon, bud, I promise. But let's move on. So first and foremost, I want to say, lovely. I'm happy that Rich Homie Swan is back in TNA. Again, this was another match that did not need to be on the pay-per-view. I'm gonna be so for real.
Yep.
I feel like I'm stepping on your line here, Mikey, because anytime I see the system now, it's like, what are we even doing, guys? Like, I don't know what we're doing. What are we even doing? Like, are you good guys or bad guys? Make up your fucking mind, please.
They just
They-
use it every night.
So I was like, y'all need to get it together with this one. And I'm just like, I'm gonna steal Papa Oso's lines here. I'm right now, but like, it's time. I think the system we need to break up. Like, break them up right now. Like, what are we doing? We keep spinning our wheels. We keep telling the same story just with a different coat of paint and different, people involved in this. But I'm tired of this. The match itself
I'm
again.
tired of this, Grandpa.
TNA telling that's too damn bad. I was just like, I don't care right now. God, TNA, I love you, but holy shit, you make it hard sometimes. Anyways, so the match itself, again, was fine for a Thursday episode, not for a pay-per-view. First Class does pick up the victory over the system. Keep losing. I have said my piece. If anyone else wants to add anything.
What you're trying to tell me is
The system is down and out, and,
Thank you,
and it
Leo.
does not need to be rebooted anytime soon. Is it cool if we move on? Yeah.
It's very cool.
Okay. Cool.
you,
Because I
you
don't
could have
want.
just shown the picture and then just been like, okay, moving on.
It's about they put about the same effort into planning the match.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyways, you are very correct. Moving on. Okay. I actually like this match. So we're gonna spend some time here because I actually really did. So originally, this was just a regular match between Mike Santana and Sami Callihan. The stipulation is Sami loses. This is his final match, and he retires from TNA and the in-ring industry as a whole. Sami gets on the mic before the match, and we get this made into a Baltimore street fight. So this is literally Death Machine doing Death Machine things. This was you know what? I was like, it was tamed for a street fight, which is okay, but damn, did I have a lot of fun watching these two go at it. Again, Sami has been a legend he has been in this business for a while, especially when TNA. He has been here for a while at TNA. In fact, prior to pandemic, he was involved in that crazy storyline where he challenged Tessa Blanchard, where she was the challenger and he was the champion, and Tessa beat Sami in an intergender match to become TNA World Champion. So crazy times at TNA. At that point was really cool. And then the pandemic hit, and then everything just hit the fan with Tessa and everything that happened, but we digress. So it's been fun to see Sami kind of come back in here. I mean, he was teamed up with PCO for a little bit. Him and Mance Warner had probably one of the craziest TNA matches this year where both of them bled buckets at Unbreakable in a barbed wire death match, which was crazy. Like, I was like, ooh, GCW? Oh, wait, this is TNA. Never mind. And to this day, that is the last time we saw that copious amount of blood on TNA television was this past April. But Mike Santana, spin the block, pin Sami Callihan. Sami is officially retired. Of course, we got him taking off the boots, bowing to the crowd. Tell everybody, thank you, Sami. This was the emotional point of the night, and I was shedding a tear or two. I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Yep.
So, but again, the match was really solid, and the stakes were actually built for a pay-per-view worthy match. Oh, no.
So match was solid. Stakes were proper. Nice little emotional send-off. And then right after the match.
Okay, JT, y'all know where we're going with this. So,
Oh,
okay.
God.
Okay, we don't even need to talk about the match. Let's talk about what happened afterwards, because we had a great moment, and then in 5 seconds, they ruined it. So, Sami goes backstage. We cut some of the roster there, and some backstage people. So, I was just like, oh, okay, everyone's coming in, giving Sami dabs. Joe Hendry gives the man a hug. I was like, you know what? This is emotional. Even Frankie Kazarian was like actually quiet. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But Frankie and Sammy have been in this business forever. So it's like, you know what? Makes sense. And then we get this bald ass motherfucker, Eric Young, coming in saying that he's glad that Sammy, again, we need to stop saying a cleansing is coming to TNA, Eric Young, because this shit is not okay. It was not the part. And I'm gonna get on his ass when I cover it a little bit because I'm like, how you gonna tell that to a black man?
And this particular promo is, and I kind of went off a little bit on this last week when this was the promo that he's like, what, like, this all started because of you, Joe Hendry. What are you gonna do? It's like, Eric, what are you gonna do about it, okay? You keep calling everyone else out on your shit, like, maybe you should fucking challenge him, okay? If it's so easy and you need to stand up for the honor of TNA, you get in the ring with Trick. Shit or get off the pot.
And then we just took a hard left afterwards with Sammy and Joe. I was just like, gosh dang it, you guys. What are we doing? Anyways, I mean, like, I'm speechless. I was just like, I can't, you guys. I can't with Eric Young. I love you. I really do. Now, whether this is your choice or, whatever creative team is in TNA right now, if we have one per se, but this is not the moment. We already have to deal with it enough over in NXT when we have the flipping calling. We do not need another promotion to give us like very echoing of nonsense from a bygone era.
Speaking of echoing, you got to get your sound on check for that promo too, because when that started, you could barely hear EY before, like, all you hear, like, and then there's gonna be a cleansing, and it's
like whatever that was beforehand, whether it was a sock or something else, just keep Eric's mouth shut. We don't.
Yeah,
this ruined it. So I mean, JT, like we almost had a good emotional moment, and then they fucked it up. What?
Hey, TNA, real quick. So I did just start a new job this week, but it's not turned out to be anything. I can write, just saying, I understand grammar and syntax and generally how to construct a plot.
Like,
just putting it out there.
Yeah. JT, I want to get your thoughts, and Papa, I'm going to come to you next. Like, what?
It really was. It was kind of a little bit of a letdown to such an amazing, like, send-off. And he keeps saying all of these things. And like we've all been saying, it's kind of like okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But until then, could you maybe just not say it anymore? That'd be great. Every time he shows up in screen, I just go, fuck, what are we doing now? Like, really? Like, you just, goddamn. And so, like, I literally just skip, because I've got
rightfully so.
Yep. I'm just like, I don't need it. It's already 103 degrees outside. I don't need more hot wind.
For reals. Papa, like, we have similar issues between here with Eric Young and, the calling in NXT. Like, why do companies think it's okay to be doing this? Like, what are we doing? Like, anyways, what is your thoughts about anything that we've been discussing about this match, the backstage afterwards? Like, what, anything?
This match was okay. I don't care about the match. Eric Young, I'm done. I'm done with the culling. It makes me vomit in my mouth every time I say it. I don't know why, other than the fact that, WWE is full of racist bigots, why they would allow a team to be called that when they did. Well, first of all, has absolute throwbacks to Nazi and what's going on in America today. So why in the world are they allowing this to be on television in this company, and why does no one else have a problem with it? That's my biggest issue, because the minute they introduced that team, I immediately, and because I told you, I immediately was like, y'all know what that is, right? Because either Eric Young and the rest of them are absolutely ignorant and stupid and don't understand what it is, or they're okay with it, which bugs the crap out of me.
Again, I was just like, whether it's Eric's idea or creative, I was like, you mean somebody anywhere in that company did say, you know what, that's a bad idea. And WWE has no morals whatsoever because, I mean, radio, lest we forget Hollywood WrestleMania a couple years ago, Dominic's entrance, I was just like, is that a picture of Auschwitz? In Dominic's video package, I was like, ooh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah, no, a tag team called The Culling in WWE. I did not see that coming.
Oh my God. So much.
But again, Okay.
Yeah, but we got
Yep.
let's get through the rest of these because it does not get better from here. Okay, so how do I put this nicely? I love seeing lots of women in a match. Are we just gonna keep like playing in the inspiration's face? Like, what is happening? Now I am glad because there was a part of me that thought that NXT was about to take these titles too. I was like, oh God, no. Thankfully, that was not the case. But I'm just like, I just saw this at Rebellion Live. Like, you mean tell me we couldn't figure something else out? Like, I don't know. Radio
Yeah,
is
and
ready to
it
go off.
wasn't much difference
No,
between
it
Rebellion
wasn't.
and this current
No,
matchup.
it
There was
wasn't.
still a slew of screaming bitches.
That's the name of our new punk band, you guys.
Screaming bitches.
Mm,
There we go.
All right.
The only
Ra-
difference is there wasn't a group of security guards to stop them this time.
That's very fair too. Radio. I'm tagging you in because you are the Celsius induced rant. Do it.
So why? If you are going to have a tag team be as dominant as the Elegance brand currently is being, would you even bother to put 3 other teams in the match to like play up the expectations? Oh, they have 3 other chances to lose at this time. No, they don't. You have no intention of taking the belts off them. And okay, you know what the Elegance brand reminds me of right now is the dregs of the bloodline. You're not doing anything different. You just put them against whatever tag team you feel like putting them against, and they win. Congratulations. Did they earn it? No, they cheated, just like the bloodline did. Like, and I mean, and when I say the dregs, I'm not talking about currently where Solo just keeps, summoning random members that are dubiously related to the Anawai family. I mean, Roman Winslow. It's that's what it reminds me of. It's like okay, you just keep, and the worst part is too, what makes this worse is instead of setting up new pins for the Elegance brand to bowl over, they're just setting the same pins back up. So there's nothing different. There's nothing new. There's no change. There's no reason for us to watch this again.
Right. And we've been we've been talking about this for a while now too. Like, I get that your Knockouts tag team division is not like the most. It's like very shallow right now because there's technically not a lot of teams. There's not even a lot of teams. Let's be real. But
I'm just saying, spooky bitches.
there's that, or you can have an actual decent feud with the inspiration. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Like, they lost at Slammiversary, and now we're just throwing everybody in, and then now we have the inspiration feuding with the NXT girls next to Thursday, which I was like,
a thought just occurred to me. And I know it's like a lot of people sort of looked at once again, I mean, if we're long-term storytelling arcs in wrestling, all of the long-term ones will have dregs. The Bloodline had dregs, the Death Riders had dregs. But if they're going for a long-term storytelling kind of thing, a la Hangman versus Mox and Hangman versus the Death Riders, or Cody versus the Bloodline, they got to write it better. There needs to be heat. It can't just be like, oh, we're the inspiration. We're the new team that just got signed to TNA. Just like crush them every single time. Like, no, there needs to be more to it. There needs to be drama. There needs to be heat. There needs to be them gloating. It needs to be more than just Ash doing the gloating or Iceman or whatever the concierge's name is. Like the rest of the team needs to do something. They need to get on the mic. They need to talk their talk as well as show up in the ring. I said a couple weeks ago, Heather kind of underrated as a performer of that, stable right there. And there needs to be more sort of interpersonal drama within the Elegance brand. Like maybe have a little bit of a heat where M and Heather like start to feel left out because the concierge is focusing so much on Ash, or have like play up the fact that the inspiration and the Elegance brand have kind of similar gimmicks. The big difference is arrogance. The only difference between the Elegance brand and the inspiration is the arrogance of the Elegance brand. They're both kind of playing up this like, look at how great we are kind of thing, except they're just doing it in very like, we are great, we are better than you kind of difference. And like,
we need to do better for these tag teams. I'm not like,
these performers have no character. They are largely interchangeable, which I will give them all the credit in the world for elevating the athleticism and in-ring performance of women's wrestling over the last couple of years. But as far as storylines go, this may as well be the Attitude Era.
I mean, here's the thing. I love a lot of these women. I really, really do. And I agree that the athleticism is there, but I'm just like, TNA didn't care enough to have some sort. I'm gonna be so for real. We did not need this multi-person match.
Nope.
We could have gotten a round 2 between the Elegance brand and the Inspiration, and then have a blow-off match where the Inspiration finally win. But again, TNA has not invested in this division at all. So it's just like, let's just throw everybody out there. And what makes me even madder is the fact that before this match even started, we get that whole segment where we learned that Liang Li re-signs with TNA, and I love her. And then this match happened. I was just like, damn, y'all be playing in these girls' faces. Like, that was some fucked up shit. I am so sorry. I was like, damn it, TNA. Again, we had a great moment, and then you ruined it not long afterwards. The Elegance brand are still your tag champs. Again, I love the Elegance girls, but this division we need to invest in it because this is getting out of hand. Let's move on because I'm going to get an aneurysm. I'm so pissed off with this match. Not whatever. I was just like,
Guys.
okay, so I was like, you couldn't have given me see, I'm mad at this match because I'm still angry about last week with Frankie Kazarian's whole segment between these two, which was ass, as we talked about last
It was
week.
just him dunking on the fact that neither of them can cut a promo.
And I'm just like, it makes me so mad. I was like, Macklin, you came out in the war paint. This match stipulation did not warrant it. You do not bring that.
Steve Macklin, brought to you by Call of Duty 7.
Oh my. He really did. He really did. I like Macklin. I like something, but this match just was not it. Again, this felt like a Thursday night match instead of a pay-per-view. And I was just like, I know that we couldn't have gotten no cinder blocks. Like, we couldn't have no, make it I know we had a street fight earlier, but damn, we could have had trash cans. Like, what are we doing? I'm just mad because I was just like, Macklin is out here having feuds for this international championship that don't mean diddly squat. I'm so sorry. And it makes me mad because I'm like, you have Mr. Deonna Purrazzo in here, and I like Macklin. He has shown that he can be a force when he is booked right. This is not the feud that I wanted for either one of them, and Macklin does retain. And so I was just like, okay, well, at least we can move on. And then Thursday made me mad. I was like, it seems that Jake is now entering a feud with Frankie. I'm like, God damn it. I was like, oh, man. Anyways, let's move on because I don't want to talk about this no more.
Yeah.
It's like, alrighty.
I actually didn't catch this one.
You didn't miss much.
I did not.
This is-
I couldn't watch this one. I wasn't able to watch this one.
You didn't miss much, and from me being a diehard Hardy fan, like, I was even a little disappointed.
It was a little rough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was a little
Really?
rough.
Are you saying that the Hardys are getting up in your ears?
Probably.
Is
Yeah.
that
No,
time? Is time linear?
but they like, this is one of those ones that again, this is going to be the entire theme to this whole podcast. Is this could have been a Thursday show?
Really could have. And
Like,
it was lackluster. It was annoying in the sense because I was just like, the rascal. Well, here's the thing. Listen, I'm not expecting Jeff and Matt to like give me 100,000% every single time. They're catching up there with age. Like, we don't want them like dying on my screen, metaphorically speaking.
Right. Or literally speaking.
Or literally speaking either too, yeah. Which makes me mad about Bound for Glory, but that's a whole conversation as we get closer to it. And then the poor Rascals, man, like the Rascals are giving it everything they have. Of course, they are the younger ones. They are the young ones. There was a lot of mismatched chemistry in this match, and it bothered me a little bit. I was just like, yeah, I wonder if they talked to the Hardys after what happened at Slammiversary. Like, listen, we can't have y'all go too hard because we can't be, reinvigorating injuries out here a la Casey Navarro. Like, I was just like, which sucks. And again, I love the Hardys, but this match for the titles was not it. The Hardys do retain. I mean, we get the Rascals and the Hardys kind of hugging it out afterwards. And I was just like, again, this was more like a Thursday match than a pay-per-view.
And yet again, another babyface versus babyface match with zero heat.
Now, we're going to put a pause on this because remember how we brought up Eric Young earlier, unfortunately, about the whole thing with Sami Callihan. The reason I'm bringing him up again now is because yesterday's episode of TNA that I watched, because of what is going down next week, Eric Young is still spouting his cleansing bullshit, but this time he's talking to Myron Reed about it. And I'm just like, listen, the optics is so bad. You mean to tell me that you are putting Eric Young talking about cleansing, which is very not great because of it being referred to things that happened during, But the fact that you have Eric Young doing this shit to Myron Reed, who is a person of color, he is an African American, and probably mixed with other things out. His baby's cute, by the way, as a side note, with Killer Kelly, which is great. But damn, I don't know what's going on with wrestling, but like it's wild to me. And I had to pause after the whole segment between Eric Young and Myron. Thank God Zach Wentz stepped in to kind of be the backup for Myron. And I'm just like, so this is what it's come to, TNA with Eric Young. I was just like, I don't know, man. I can't fuck with Eric Young right now until he gets off of this. I don't know what's going on. But the optics were not great, y'all. And again, so I was like, Myron Reed is the person I feel bad for the most in this whole situation.
Yeah, seriously.
This match and what we're doing with him. I was like, listen, now it started off good because he was, Eric Young, before mentioning cleansing, was like, you know what, Myron, you're the third string of this team. You are only here to replace Trey, and then you will be thrown away when Trey comes back. I was like, listen, that is somewhere to go with. That's not being racist, right? And then he mentioned cleansing and talking to Myron. I was like, gosh dang it, Eric Young. We were so close, and yet now we're so far. Anyways, let's just get to the main event because I want to get over it and done with it because I was just
let's put this in our rearview mirror.
Let's put this to bed, and we're going to get everyone's opinion on this one. So we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew there was no effing way that Moose was going to win it. And again, now Moose is semi-babyface, I guess, but I was just like, I don't like Moose as a babyface. At least I don't like this version of a Moose babyface. I mean,
is the system, baby? What is the system?
The system is dead, and it needs to be permanently deleted. Control Alt Delete. Like, come on now. Oh my gosh. So main event time, TNA World Champion. Yeah, Trick Williams versus Moose. Commentary did not help the situation when they told us that this hometown. I was like, and cue the 2 trick shots for the win. This was whatever. I don't care. I'm just like, I'm looking at my invisible watch and I was like, 49 days to go until Mike Santana better ripping that championship away from Chick. Otherwise, I am going to pull my proverbial non-existent hair off my head. Papa, also, I want to come to you first because we had the unfortunate pleasure of dealing with Trick both here and in NXT. And this past week, we just, again, because we're reviewing this a week later for Emergence, we just threw past Moose because now we're setting up Trick and Santana. So what did you think of the match and why are we here? Why?
Didn't care about it because it's a no-brainer. We've been talking a lot of shit about this episode or this PLE. The thing about this PLE is Emergence. This is Emergence.
Very true.
I mean, going into it, I was like, this is going to be shit. And lo and behold, everyone that we've watched has been like this.
So, okay. Yeah.
So I was like, this is not...
No, and Papa, also, the crazy thing is as Emergence last year was also kind of bad. But it was more good because remember, because this was random. Remember we had Jake something versus IWGP champion Sonata out of nowhere? That match actually fucking ruled. And then we got this shit, which made me even mad. I was like, lo and behold,
the thing about it is we had the X Division match, which was great.
The Ultimate X at Emergence last year was kind of fire, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then if you look at this one, the X Division match was probably the best match.
Everything else was booty.
So
total
Emergence
nonstop
is just one of those that just needs to die.
For reals. We could take a break. We don't need this.
Seriously.
I
did not care about this match at all.
No, I don't think any of us did. Radio, I'm going to have you close us off in a little bit. I'm going to go to JT real quick, and then I'm going to have you come in to be our closer for, for the thoughts on the match. JT! What did you think of this?
I knew that Trick was going to win this, and I didn't want to see it. But it had its moments. Some of the bout was nice to watch, more or less. But you could have switched, put this at the start of the show, and then you could have done Slater and Alexander at the end of the show.
That would have been an amazing finish to the show.
That would have at least made it better than what it was. But yeah, that's...
So I was only able to watch this match in clips. Wasn't able to watch the entire thing. Beginning.
You didn't miss much, I promise.
Yeah, and that's I got the highlights. I got the Cliff's Notes version of it. But there's one part of the clip that really annoyed me. So last week I was watching somebody, guy on YouTube does some wrestling review stuff. And I was watching his video and he's sort of talking about, he's going over all of the different finishers from, he's basically reviewing another video of all the finishers from a particular promotion. And one of the questions, he was talking about Cope's spear. And he asked the question, who has the best spear in wrestling today? Moose has a solid spear. Yeah, it really does have, a solid spear. And I start scrolling through the comments just to see what everyone else is saying. Someone brings up Braun Breaker. I'm like, yeah, okay, no, that's the best spear in wrestling right now. Braun Breaker. I talk a lot of shit about WWE, and it's warranted, but no, Braun Breaker's spear is
nasty looking.
that
and
he breaks
glorious.
people in half with that shit. And I even left a comment to that
That's
comment
a
saying
Steiner kid for you.
well, responded to that comment saying like, I was going to come in and suggest Moose, but then I remembered Braun existed because of this comment. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, it definitely gets to Braun. But basically giving an honorable mention to Moose. The spear that I saw Moose given, this one, I would like to rescind that honorable mention if possible.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was like, what the hell was that?
That was, I missed you, my friend. I'm going to give you a big hug and lay down with you.
God.
Like, you do one thing real well. Please keep doing it real well.
We all have our days, but come on.
Yeah, I
Just
get
lock it in.
I get it.
Like, block the F in chat. So, yeah, Trick wins. The TNA president gives the title to Trick. Trick celebrates as the show goes off the air. And that was Emergence, unfortunately. So, let me tell you what I would have done to fix this to make it even a tiny bit better.
Cancel it.
We had it's not, this is what I would, again, I said this at the offline before we started and towards the beginning. There were things on this past Thursday's episode that I actually could have preferred to be put on the pay-per-view and taken some stuff out from the actual Emergence pay-per-view. Literally, the longest match of last night's episode was a 30-minute knockouts gauntlet match where winner is the number one contender for the knockouts championship. So the best part is that we got to see like Zaya Brookside like kick ass and take names too, because we don't get to see her too often. Danny Luna went on a fucking tear and like took out most of the women in that whole entire gauntlet match and was the MVP Iron Woman. We also had her turn heel after losing to Indy, where she viciously brutalized Indy with a chair. I was like, oh my God, this feud is going to be amazing. She attacked Jody Threat and knocked her out and destroyed her too. Like, heel Danny Luna, I am here for.
Yeah.
I was like, we could have put that on this pay-per-view and that would have been great instead of what we got for the 4-way knockout tag team championship. No shade. But we could have put that gauntlet match on the show. And I was like, there you go. You get more women on and then you still can get the amazing moments.
So I just noticed something just looking at this promotional image that you have on the screen right now. Mike, Moose, Masha, Jeff, Joe, Matt, Frankie. 3 of those people were not on the card.
Nope. Like, Joe Hendry was not on the card. And I thought,
mean,
him and Ali were feuding.
They did end up making special appearances.
Oh yeah, they showed up.
Yeah.
But
they didn't.
Like, I thought Joe and Ali were feuding, but I guess that's not a thing right now anymore. Frankie, it seems that Frankie is coming after the international championship, so him and Macklin might be feuding. The person in this image I feel the worst for is Masha, because we have to reserve her knockouts match for Heatwave at NXT this Sunday. Same thing with Ash, because it's Ash and Masha in a triple threat against JC at NXT Heatwave this Sunday for this TNA Knockouts Championship. So I'm just like, and Papa also and I talked about it, and we already made our predictions. I was just like, Ash is probably gonna get pinned. JC is not losing that title anytime soon. Masha and Mike Santana need to get on the same playbook and start kicking all the ass, and we need them to take those titles back from them from Bound for Glory. Because I was like, what are we doing?
Have they announced dates for the next pay-per-views after Bound for Glory?
They have not, and to my memory, I don't actually. And Papa, also, I think you can either correct me or tell me I'm wrong, but we don't really get pay-per-views for the rest of the year after Bound for Glory. The last 2 years we've kind of gotten one, which is Turning Point, but that's when they go to the UK or or like when they went to Mexico, and then we got Turning Point there. But that's not like a real actual pay-per-view. Bound for Glory technically is the last one on the calendar, and then Turning Point is like a special house show that gets televised.
So the reason I ask, and it's all just, this is me kind of taking a step back and like trying to see the big picture. I think they're just running it into the ground. The whole promotion, the whole operation, the promotion isn't that clearly with this promotional image for this pay-per-view. You've got almost half the people in this image were not on the card. Yeah, they had special appearances, but they weren't booked to be in a match. You've got NXT people coming in and taking the championships. The people from outside the company taking the championships. And basically it has become like it's a different acquisition strategy. It's not a, hey, look how good we are, you can acquire us and we'll help your brand. It's the Homer Simpson strategy.
Oh no.
It's the whole like, look at how pitiful we are, can you help us? And the technical issues, that was the other point. All of the technical issues that they've been having.
Like, it's giving like my first wrestling promotion. It's giving me like my GM mode of any wrestling video game. And it sucks because, again, I am a ride or die for TNA. We've been covering TNA for the last, well, I've been watching for the last 5 years, like religiously, so to speak. And we've been covering it for the last 3 years. I was that hardcore defender of TNA under the Scott D'Amore regime because I was like,
Sure.
that man was doing fun stuff and it was great. Now, again, like the first half of the year, I actually was like, fine. I was like, okay, I have some questions, but you know what? We're all still on the up and up. Things are working. And I don't know, man. Right now, again, despite it being the same thing, I was like, TNA needs to get his shit together. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, you guys. I'm really scared of how they're gonna build for Victory Road now. Now, thankfully, we have like 7 weeks until Victory Road, but at the same time, it's just like, all right, I'm just like crossing my fingers. I was like, let's just get through this to Bound for Glory, and then hopefully there's a reset. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with all of that. But that was our Emergence review, you guys. God, we got through it. So I call that a win in my book. So again, I am a masochist, but I am happy that I have 3 other friends who are along the ride with me, and we get to do this on a weekly basis because even though this was not a great show, I'm still happy that I got to spend the last hour and 20 minutes with y'all.
I love that our reviews of TNA have like surpassed Tom Servo and Crow and gone right into Waldorf and Statler.
Listen, we're going to call it as we see it. Listen, again, I'm a big ride or die for TNA, but I'm also a person that is going to call you out on your bullshit if it is bad. And that's for any company too. Like, I love AEW too, but I also have questions sometimes. I'm just looking at, for anything. And Lord knows that the WWE boys, the last 2 weeks, we have been going through the stages of everything. And we're just like, all right, we're just going to do the things that we can. But that is going to be it for us here at Six Sided Scholars. The next time that the pay-per-view squad will be here will be towards the end of September, beginning of October, because Victory Road is at the end of September, which means we'll review it at the first Friday of October, which then leads into Bound for Glory. So yeah, so that's fun. But I promise you this weekend, it does get a lot better because we have like a little bit more of my chipper self for what's to come for the remainder of this week. So let me show you what Saturday and Sunday entail, because Lord help us, there's a lot going on. So tomorrow night, this upcoming Saturday, the 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, Andrew and I will be holding it down, doing a watch along for GCW Homecoming Night 1. So this is GCW's one of their biggest shows of the year over at the Showboat in New Jersey. So that card is going to be really, really fun. And then, of course, on Sunday, for all of us out here, the time has come. Maybe a little less of the New Japan involvement, but we are getting AEW New Japan's Forbidden Door. I'm so excited for this because one of my personal favorites, Hiromu Takahashi, gets to wrestle Kyle Fletcher, and I think that's going to be a sleeper match. We are getting the match that I have dubbed everybody that is going to die in this match, in the lights out steel cage match. I was like, Kenny's going to die. Ibushi's going to die. We're going to see Hiroshi Tanahashi blow out his knees again. Like, yeah, the face team, I was like, I'm looking at this team. I'm like, Kenny, Kota, and Hiroshi Tanahashi are about to die metaphorically. And I'm like, looking at this, I'm like, Darby and Will, one of you is going to take this pin. Will's probably going to die too. Moxley's going to bleed every 5 seconds, which is going to be great. Gabe Kidd had to drop out because of tweaking his knee, and he's out here competing in the steel cage match, which is wild. Young Bucks are probably going to die. Everyone's going to die in this match, so you got to tune in for all of that.
And if it's funny that we're sitting here talking about it like that's, there's no disqualifications for, there was nothing. Guys, lights out steel cage match in AEW. The sickos are going to eat, okay? Don't worry about that. The sickos will eat.
So that is going to be our watch along at 10 a.m. Pacific. We are going to have a hard stop at 1:30 wherever we're at, because then I'm jumping over with Andrew to cover GCW Night 2. So that's going to be fun. All right, kids, we got to get up on out of here. Thank you so much for tuning into our comedy special for the evening. This was a lot of fun. We are going, surprise, we are going on tour. I swear, if we could do BC WrestlePod live and do it, I was just like, that'd be crazy.
So to all you people that are watching this currently, the more that you interact, the more that we might actually be able to do this live in
We'll
various
go
different
rent out a
places.
space and
Just
just like, even if it's
throwing
for like
that out
one
there.
person, we will
Hey,
do this.
You know what we should do is on Thursday nights, instead of doing TNA, we should do a game of Worldwide Wrestling, the Powered by the Apocalypse Wrestling RPG,
We
to
just
show
play a
that we
CCR.
can do it better. We
just
can
play-
write this shit better than TNA does.
I mean, hey, you know what? That is on my plans for, when the times we do stuff is like, I want to do a mini shot of this, but we'll talk later. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. This weekend is going to be a lot of fun with Andrew and the AEW crew. So that's going to be a BC WrestlePod signing us out for the evening. So until next time, remember to take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you tomorrow and Sunday. But until then, until next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.